Hey guys, I hope you're doing great today. So let's get into the first week of July. This is going to be primarily for the first week of July, though what I'm going to be talking about is going to be rolling out for the next 3 to 6 months. You know how these things go. So the way I'm going to do this lead in, and then I'm going to pull cards for each sign separately, and I'm going to have time stamps. So I'm going to have the beginning of the tarot time stamped, okay? And I'm going to be talking specifically with each sign when I start pulling cards with the houses that these transits are going to most be affecting you in. But quite honestly, guys, we have everything in us. We do. So those of you who know your chart know that, just to one degree or another. So I want to speak in general about what we're all going to be feeling, and you're going to know what area of your life it's resonating the greatest with, and then in conjunction with things to look out for your own particular placements. So of course this is going to be for Sun, Rising, Moon, Venus, and then even particular house placements. So I don't want to confuse you guys, so let's just get right into this. So we have the full moon on the 5th. Which is going to be occurring when the Sun in Cancer is going to be opposing the Moon in Capricorn. This is going to be this last set of eclipses occurring on this Cancer-Capricorn sign axis that began back in July of 2018 that we've all been talking about. So just think about what this means for a minute, right? Because the Sun warms our planet, and the Moon it creates the tides. So there's a lot of emotion here, right? The Moon is all about us looking deep inside, feeling what's inside deep. And Capricorn's like, what are you going to do about it? We need to work on this. And that's what happens here. So this can really be, that dynamic can be happening in any area of your life. But we want to understand that we're going to feel very pushed to revisit, to resolve, to, guys, sometimes, just find a solution. And a lot of times to actually get rid of things that aren't serving us anymore. Because it's an emotional time, right? And, when we're dealing with emotions, guys, what are we dealing with a lot of times? A lot of times it's romance. A lot of times it's fertilization of ideas, right? Having to do with something to do with career. It has to do with any kind of relationship, right? So really understand that anything that you feel very passionate about, any sense of deep emotion, this is really going to be moving you, especially wherever Cancer is in the chart, only because Cancer is the North Node and all in this particular dynamic, but Cancer rules the Moon. So, whatever. That's people, you're going to be feeling it in your Cancer house the most. So, again, this is the last gig in this axis set. And this is really considered a final, a major nudge towards resolving an issue that has to do particularly with your Cancer and Capricorn areas in your chart. So you want to know your chart and what that means to you. Right? So the Moon, it's like, the way I'm looking at it is, right, we have the Moon, and then we have Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, right? And again, the Moon is I feel, and Saturn is, that's so nice, Moon, that you feel like that. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Are you going to hold on to it and work on it a little more diligently, where you give greater focus? Or has it reached its expiration date? Is it time to get rid of it? What are you going to do? And that's the thing. Saturn is so about structure and form and karma and slow and restriction, but it's all really necessary. Those of you who've been watching me know I actually really like Saturn, because I know when we get through these Saturn transits, we're all the better for it, first of all. Whatever leaves wasn't meant for us anyway, and the blessings are very, very benefic on the other side. Even though Saturn is considered a malefic by everyone in my industry, I don't know. I have a soft spot in my heart for the old guy, because I know he means well. But Cancer is really going to encourage us to value our base, our home roots. What makes us feel safe? Well, Capricorn is really pushing us to think about our sense of duty and responsibility. So this could have to do with our career. This could have to do within relationships, within family dynamics. Wherever we really need to show up, Capricorn's going to be holding that mirror up to us, really, because, Cancer represents the origin of something, right? And then Capricorn represents the resolution of it. Like, how is it supposed to actually really play out in the 3D? And the thing is, you don't want to neglect any of these things. Like, even if it's uncomfortable, any of these lessons are uncomfortable, you feel like, because you feel the change and you just don't want to do it, or you don't know how to do it, you're convincing yourself that you don't know how to do it, or you don't even know how to get the ball rolling. Because it's one thing to say, all right, you know what, like, for example, I know I need to make a change in this relationship, this marriage, this job, whatever, but guess what? I don't have another job right now. Or guess what? I don't have the money to leave right now. But there's nothing preventing you from getting the ball rolling. It's just a matter of realizing that it may not actually go the way that you exactly want it, but it's going to go exactly the way that it needs to go. And I know sometimes that's tough to hear, but that's what this energy is going to be bringing the beginning of July. Guys, it's all about balancing out these two energies, right? So I'll give you an example, right? So let's talk about Cancer and Capricorn, right? I mean, like if we have this first house, seventh house dynamic between Cancer and Capricorn, Capricorn being in the first, it would be like you have to get rid of something that is not serving you as far as your belief system goes about how you work your life, how you are, right? Because the first house has to do with our personality and how we engage with the world and how the world understands us. I mean, it's big, right? But then the seventh house has to do with partnerships. So maybe you need to sacrifice something in yourself for the relationship in order to bring that dynamic to where it needs to go. And a lot of times it's not you actually sacrificing, it's you sacrificing actually like negative concepts that you've had about yourself, realizing that this relationship is not worthy of you. So it could really, it can work in a number of ways, and the houses work with each other. So we're going to talk about that more when we get to the cards. But something's been building inside of each of us, and now is the time when the energy really needs to let go. You will feel that what I'm saying is not a suggestion, guys, if you're resonating. And you may not even be feeling it just yet. It's really not a suggestion. You're going to be feeling it. You're going to be pushed. And if you resist it, it's not going to work well for you. If you go with it, it's going to be beautiful. By the way, this is not doomy or gloomy. There's a lot of things you're going to feel very motivated, especially with Mars's help in there. That's kicking up this month. Very motivated and very focused on doing the right thing for yourself and moving your life forward. So I really think this is a good time for this to be happening. But over the coming weeks, and by the way, I just feel like this is the necessary last push over the fence into what's supposed to be this next path in your life, where you're supposed to be going next. We can't sit on our feelings right now. We really need to express them. Now, for some of us, it's going to feel like a little bit of a crisis. It can be just a crisis of consciousness or sudden awareness of lack. And when I say lack, right, of course, it could be money, right? Lack could be emotional support. It could be love. It could be connection with your friends, connection with your kids, where you're all of a sudden, it's becoming front and center to you that you have this sense of lack. And that Cancer energy does not like that, right? Because it's all about home. So we really need to understand the polarity of the houses, that this is hitting the greatest. But guys, I do want you to apply this to whatever area you're intuitively feeling it. Because when I give the polarities, when we pull the cards, that's always based on your rising sign. And that's how it is for anybody that you listen to on YouTube. It always goes according to your rising sign, because that drives the placement of the houses, right? So understand that. Because then you also have your sun placement. You also have your Venus and your moon. So it's really, that's why I'm careful to not harp on those house placements too much. You want to understand, trust in yourself. You know where the change is happening. And some of you feel it in your relationship, in your job. I mean, I know. A lot of times these dynamics are very just so closely connected to a number of intimate areas. We're going to talk about that. Now, for many, relationships might be challenged, broken, or strengthened during this energy, which is really good. Very dramatically at this time. Like, guys, if you're in a relationship and you guys make it through this time, you guys are good. You guys are good. You guys are solid. You guys are solid. And a lot of you are going to be doing this reconnecting as this kickoff of the retrograde season starts to wind down, right? That the ending of it all is starting to kick off, right? And so there's this winding down, there's this revisiting. A lot of you guys are going to be doing revisiting to something from the past, somebody from the past, particularly, I know Virgo, especially risings, are going to be, if you haven't already been dealing with a returned energy, you are going to be dealing with the returned energy. Other signs will be too, but I'm thinking right here of Virgo, straight out of the gate. But your discoveries, whatever it is going to be very emotionally charged, very dramatic. Lots of epiphanies are going to be hitting you. You're going to be acutely aware of what's working and not working in your life. You really are. It's just going to be very front and center. And this is a very motivating time for you to incite change and for you to get rid of, seriously, like what is not working for you. Because full moons are always really good at magnifying something that's not working, right? Some sort of pre-existing issue that we're dealing with in our life, just so that we could bring it back into balance or bring ourselves back into balance. Our larger work should be reaching a good balance between focus on personal and private lives, and or like professional and public duty and responsibility and goals. You know, like there's got to be this balancing out. We're all going to be feeling this need to balance out particular areas of our life. And this is all happening very close to the Jupiter and Pluto retrograde conjunction that I talked about last time. And this is making revelations pretty dramatic for a lot of us right now. So it's in harmony with Uranus, which is going to just help us to let go and release, right? Because Uranus is all about the future. Uranus is the future. So this is really good. And remember, this is going to take anywhere from 3 to 6 months to roll out. It's going to be a little different energetically for everybody. But just know that this is for a long while, guys. We're not going to be dealing with this version of this energy for at least another 18 years. So don't worry about it. So it's going to be kind of like a clean slate moving forward. Are there going to be other energies that come up? Of course. This is life, right? But not this way. This has been a tough transit for many of us. Even those with like weaker Cancer Capricorn energies in our charts. It's been pretty profound couple of years for all of us. I think we could all agree. So I'm going to turn my chair around. My cards are back there, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye-bye. Hi, Cancer. Hope you guys are doing great today. I hope you took advantage of that free $1,000 for the stimulus money. Those of you with a side hustle, some sort of sole proprietorship, those of you who are YouTubers, anything like that. Definitely check that out if you haven't. I did link it in the description box below, just sharing the love a little bit. Hopefully, at least some of you get the money. I know some people... I had no trouble with mine, and my friends and family have it, but I know some people are reaching out that they're having a little bit of an issue with it. So the recommendation there is definitely to email them, but if you know you qualify, because it is good until September of 2020, that offer from the government. So don't give up on it, and don't just be like, whatever, you don't want to do that. Definitely apply. And if in doubt, apply anyway. It literally takes a few minutes, and I walk you through it on video. So let's get into your reading. So, Cancer, it's all about your 7th house, 1st house dynamic having to do with this eclipse. So, 7th house of serious partnerships. So, that could be marriage partnerships. It could be business partnerships, people that you work with where you have a shared soul purpose. Guys, it's not really love affairs and boyfriend-girlfriend kind of relationships. That's more 5th house energy. So 7th house energy is more those more serious sort of relationships that you're in. But it can also have to do with work and nothing to do with intimate. But it's that 7th house, 1st house of self kind of dynamic, right? So it's you and Capricorn dealing with this last hoo-ha, getting the heck out of your sign finally once and for all, because we're already, the nodal energies really are in Sag and Gemini right now. So we're really, this is the last eclipse that we're going to be dealing with dealing with your axis right now in this way for a very long time. So let's get into this. We have the Lenormand. It's not tarot. It's a different system. It's like tarot, though. Let's set everything up. We have 7th house, Gemini. Interesting. We get the 7th house, right? Gemini, learning something new. Learning something new. Unbelievable. Unbelievable how the cards line up so often. Well, I like the Lenormand message for sure, but let's, Pluto, new, transformation, beautiful. Very nice. All right, let's pull the Celtic cross and then we'll bring this all together. All together. Yeah, so the Lenormand is a really interesting system. The cards can be understood individually, but they should never be read individually. They need to be read with others because they really do speak to each other. We have Temperance. It's the foundation right now that's being crossed by the Seven of Swords, Cancer. Okay, Moon is crowning you. That's you. The Moon is you. Six of Wands, Ten of Cups coming into this energy, so feeling really good in the past about something. I like the stars, the near future. Okay. So we're going to interpret this as for relationship, for career, family connection. All right, so first of all, let's get to Lenormand. We have microscope, we have birds, we have flowers. Okay. So this indicates magnifying glass rather, sorry. Magnifying glass does indicate to me that you need to look at something a lot more either closely or again. And it's not necessarily bad. It just means if this has to do with career, especially guys, because we're in retrograde season, because we have Mercury retrograde in you guys right now, especially until the end of the month. Until the end of the month out of shadow, right? It goes direct in the middle of the month, but I always say until the end of the month to get totally out of shadow. So fine print, if this has to do with a job, make sure you read it 2, 3, 4 times, you know, especially if any natal retrograde energies with Mercury, read it 6 times. Just be super careful with something that you are understanding to be true, having to do with a contract or anything like that, because I do see some having to do with career first, having to do with a message coming in. We have the birds here, which indicates a text message, a phone call, an email even coming in, some sort of information coming into you, but it's positive. The birds do bring a positive message, but it's something that you really do need to look at quite closely. But looking at it closely, it is very beautiful and very benefic. This is... Getting the flowers is a very positive sign because it indicates that you're going to be moving into a space of appreciation and of value. So that's really great if it has to do with career. Just make sure you read that fine print. For others of you having to do with relationship, I am being called to first identify that you might be meeting somebody online that you're going to feel a little trepidatious about, understandably so. You're just not sure if they're, you know, someone who's going to walk their talk and stuff. So you want to be very careful about who it is that you're dealing with for sure. You do. You want to make, you know, run a search on them, do whatever you do in order to cross-reference and check that somebody is on the up and up, because they do see somebody coming in via the internet with the bird energy. But at the end of the day, this is a good person, right? With the flower energy, they end up being a good way for you to go. Now, having to do with relationship, those of you who are in a relationship already, this does indicate that something's happening in your relationship right now that needs to be looked at very, very carefully, because some sort of message is coming into you somehow having to do with your relationship. And it's very important that you be very honest and very open about what it is that you're seeing. Don't play any games with yourself. Don't play any games with them, because it's going to end up bringing you into the space that you need to be in, with or without them. Okay? With or without them. But in a space of appreciation. So let's see what the messages can bring. So we have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups coming into this energy. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, why don't we just read the Astro Dice and the card, and then we could get into those cards uninterrupted. So we have Pluto. Pluto's the ruler of Scorpio. You might be dealing with the Scorpio, but Pluto is all about transformation. So it's about the ending of one way of living and simultaneously something new coming to light that's being offered to you. So within a relationship, within a job, this could just be indicative of a new cycle, right? Where there's a cycle ending and a cycle beginning. It doesn't mean the tearing down of something necessarily, but it does mean a period of discomfort while you're going through some change. Okay? And whatever area of your life this would apply to. So for some of you, you lost your job, you're getting into something new. For some of you, you're going to end a relationship, a new relationship is coming in, or you're ending a very bad phase, I guess we could say, in your relationship, going into a much healthier phase in a relationship. But there's this switching out of energies for sure in one part of your life. Not your whole life, one part of your life. This could also have to do with a transformation in a family connection, or if in a friendship, however it would resonate strongest with you. But we have the moon, we have Gemini, we have the 7th house. So why don't we read the moon first? The moon is, what is your gut telling you, Cancer? I mean, this is you guys, right? It's a 4th house energy. What is your gut telling you that you need to do? What do you need to do to feel safe, to feel loved, to feel rooted? That's what I mean by safe, is rooted. Where you don't have to, be up at night worrying about that job, that relationship, that friendship, that family connection, right? What is your gut telling you need to do? Now, the advice here is we have the Gemini energy. So really here, it's about learning something new. This is the 3rd house energy, ruled by Mercury. Put your thinking cap on here and figure out and really focus on learning something new that excites you. So if it has to do with career, you getting into a new career, it's very important that something excites you. And the thing is, with the Gemini energy, the 3rd house, it's not about higher education, but it's more about easy application type of learning, where it's a workshop, a certification, you getting that book that just gives you all kinds of epiphanies. You know what I mean? Like, you needing to learn something that's going to help you better your situation, having to do with career, having to do even within relationship. A very basic example is, let's say that you struggle with codependency in relationship. Let's just say that is a mundane example. And you're getting a book, or you're watching a video, joining some sort of webinar that actually incites these epiphanies and these realizations about yourself, and you really feeling super motivated with the Mars energy that we have going on between now and January. You're going to feel very motivated to do some really solid good work on yourself. So it's not an issue in your relationship anymore. That's just one example. Or let's say you're studying one thing and you really actually like, the sector of the career that you're in, but you really don't like the path that you're on within your career. So you're going to require a certification of some sort, or some sort of skill set. And you're learning that, and that becoming a thing that you can add to your repertoire, so that you end up, within your career doing something that really, really resonates with you. And then so funny, we have the 7th, right? Because 7th house is, again, this is where the moon is going to be illuminated for you, where you're going to have to be pushed and really pushed to make some changes. It's at 7th house of relationships. I mean, that's what the 7th house is. It just is. So this tells me that a key relationship is ready for some special attention. And who have you been neglecting in your life, or who's neglecting you? And how, if possible, can that bond be rebuilt that you guys once shared? You really need to consider do you need to talk it out, or whether it's time for you to energetically wish them well and simply move on. You have to figure out what the best thing is. But that's also kind of what the Lenormand says too. But your gut's going to know what the answer is. And it's hard, because when we're feeling very emotional, Cancer energies, wherever it is, you just have to know yourselves and understand that it's very challenging for you, more than any other side, to let go of things, just is. And so it's hard. Cancer and Libras, they tend to hold on to things way past their expiration date. It's hard to process that. And these messages, by the way, when we're talking about the house placements, specifically speaks to Cancer risings, guys, because you have to understand, not only me, but everybody on YouTube, anywhere, ever, whenever they're talking about how house placements will impact a general sign, you have to know it's going from the rising point. From the 1st house is the ascendant. It's not really going from the sun, but you're going to feel it just to a lesser degree if you're a Cancer, sun or Venus or moon. But this is really going to feel, the Cancer risings are going to be feeling this the strongest. That's just the way it works, right? It's the way astrology works, because, Popular magazines and newspapers made it all about the sun sign. What's your sun sign? Right? But really the strongest sign is really your rising sign, because that is your personality and how you engage with the world and how the world engages with you. Not that the sun's not important, that's your ego consciousness, but that's all it is, right? And that's only one room in your house of self. It's the ascendant that drives the house placements, just so you guys know that, okay? So now we have the Ten of Cups coming as the your recent past. Now, that's going to mean something different for each of you, whatever it is. Last week, last month, last year, whatever it is. Ten of Cups, though, being in a space where you were super happy. You just were. You were with that person in the relationship that you felt like you never resonated with anybody like this person before. And this is, you guys put the work in and you were very happy with them. This is you being really happy in that career. If it's not resonating as a relationship or career, then you're being really feeling so connected to that friendship, to that group of friends, to that family connection. Just feeling like, yeah, you know what? I feel really connected to this person. Really, really connected. And now the current situation, we have Temperance that's being crossed by the Seven of Swords. This is very interesting. As the Temperance is a Sagittarius, vibe as well, right? Like, what is the right thing to do here? Because this is the card of cooperation. What do you need? What do they need? What does the situation need? It really is that ultimate alchemical, what does everybody need? Let's make it happen kind of thing. And it's being crossed by the Seven of Swords. So this is the card of thievery in a very mundane, basic interpretation, right, in classic tarot. But because from an astrology perspective, it's Moon in Taurus, and Moon is I feel. Did I say Taurus? I meant Aquarius. Moon is I feel, and Aquarius is different than what I'm presenting to you. So I always understand the Seven of Swords energy to be somebody who's wearing a mask. Now, this could be you, this could be somebody that you're dealing with, because right now we're just getting the general energies of what you're involved in right now. This could be you playing somebody at their own game, Cancer, where you're doing what you need to do to make a situation be okay for the time being. But you're in the space of really needing temperance. There needs to be tempering in one area of your life. If it doesn't have to do with your career, if this could have to do with the career that you're involved in now. This could have to do with the fact that you're not in a career and you want to be in a career, and that needs to be tempered, where you need to find a job, okay, that really resonates with you, that gives you what you need. This could have to do with a relationship where you're realizing that your needs really aren't being met. Maybe their needs aren't being met either, and everybody needs to sit down and have a good old powwow, good conversation, right? A good old conversation about who needs what. But you want to be careful with the Seven of Swords energy with this, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're dealing with a relationship that you're so madly in love with the person, but yet intuitively you know that things aren't being handled fairly, or somebody is saying that they don't feel like you're handling things fairly, where you end up just saying whatever needs to be said in order to smooth the situation over, because you don't want there to be any trouble in the relationship, or you don't want there to be any trouble in the job. You want to be careful of that you're not going to end up wearing some sort of false mask, and not out of malice, but because you don't want to rock the boat. Now, for others of you, you might be dealing with an energy where you feel like things are unfair and you're looking to play them at their own game. You're going to give them exactly what they're giving. Right, and many of you are going to resonate with it on that level. Others of you are going to be in the space where you don't really have your mind made up about something, so you're kind of plugging along and acting as if, meaning you're feeling very specifically one particular way, but you're not wearing it on your sleeve right now. Not the easiest thing for a Cancer to do, but you're not. You're making the decision. Depends on what your other placements are, but you're making the decision to not make what you're feeling right now, today, with the state of things the way they are, a real issue. So just kind of acting as if. So you might be in a job that you really, really love, but you're feeling like things are being treated unfairly. But rather than making like a really big deal of it right now, you're feeling one way, like, hey, you know what, things really aren't very fair. But you're acting outside like, okay, no, things are all right. But meanwhile, in your mind, you're like, you know what, I think maybe I might want to change the trajectory of my life. Maybe I want to get a new business partner. I want to change jobs. I want to, get into something different. Or, you feeling like this relationship really, it's not as fair as I'd like it to, but you're not saying anything just yet. Or you could be dealing with an energy who's doing that to you. It's a general message, right? General energies. Crowning, moon. Okay, in tarot, this is connected to Pisces. Pisces ruled by Neptune. So I do feel like there's a part of your life where you're feeling very confused. And the thing is, the moon is I feel, and I feel is great. I mean, that's great. It's what you feel and do in private. But the problem with the moon energy is a couple of things. First of all, it's like you're not talking to anybody about it, right? Again, going off of this Seven of Swords, it's like this very internal energy. But there's also nobody in there to check you on yourself, right? There's nobody there to say, Cancer, are you sure about that? Are you sure you're seeing that as, as it really happened in reality? Are you maybe being a little too subjective in how you're approaching a certain person or situation? You know what I mean? So that's just a little caveat with the moon, but this does tell me that you're in a very introspective period. It's doing a lot of deep thinking about, what it is that you want to do with your life, where it is that you want to go with this relationship, what it is that you want. We have the Six of Wands as a foundation. It's a great energy. It's about success and feeling respected too. So I do like that. It's about having gone through a lot and kind of reaping the rewards of something, being on a trajectory that's going to bring you the success that you are looking for. But that's the foundation. That's kind of where you're at right now. So you're very focused on bringing yourself success into a space of respect. You want to be in that relationship that makes you feel respected and that brings you the success that you're looking for. But I see you being very, very deeply introspective about this, or you feeling like your partner's not being 100% open with you about something, because the moon energy again is like kind of what's sort of underneath the surface. Again, because it's a general message, it could indicate that you're dealing with this with a partner. But then we have you and only you is the Five of Swords energy. So this is a Venus and Aquarius energy. 5 is conflict. It doesn't necessarily mean an all-out fight. Doesn't mean that, but it means a discussion. Where there is a discussion that will result in some sort of necessary conflict resolution. Venus and Aquarius, recognizing that things need to be handled in a different way in order for this relationship to work out, in order for this job to work out, in order for you to feel really good about being in a career, in order for you to feel really good within you about being in this relationship. Now, again, because this is you and only you, this conflict can be 100% internal, where you're trying to figure out, with the sword energy is information coming to you and you're figuring out, all right, how could things be different? How could things be different? I'm feeling a certain way and I'm just, I'm really kind of in this space of not knowing. Because Cancer, we have the external energy to you as the Three of Swords. Now, this could be a couple of things. This could indicate that you were with somebody who was unfaithful. This could be that you were with somebody who somehow betrayed you, having to do with money or some sort of family connection, somehow threw you under the bus, made you feel disrespected, caused you pain somehow, right? I mean, it's a Saturn and Libra energy. Saturn is challenge, so fill in the blank, whatever that is to you. Because there are many ways of hurting our partners besides cheating. That's that. Now, this could also be that they're experiencing this pain because of something that you've done to them. But that there is this idea and it's because it's external to you. There is this energy surrounding you of betrayal, of pain, of challenge, of struggle within either a career. A lot of you might have felt like, I cannot believe they fired me. I never thought that would have happened. Others of you are just in this space of just general, like, I'm in need and there's nobody there to help me out, having to do with career. For others of you, this could be just feeling very hurt by a partner over something, them feeling very hurt by you, right? But there is this idea of pain around you, however that would resonate. Your fear is the Four of Cups energy. This is an important card to understand. It's been coming up in a lot of readings. Out of all the cards in the deck, coming up in the past few readings, this is an important energy to understand. Now, it's in your fear, so it's not real in the 3D, but it's real in your mind, in your emotions. And I always call this a checklist card, right? Identifying things that you're not happy about in that relationship, in that job, with that family connection, with that friend, whatever it is. For many of you, it's that. where you're identifying these things that you really don't like, and that you're saying that they're kind of like deal breakers, that you don't want to deal with them, that it doesn't make you feel very comfortable and confident to be involved in that position, right? Whatever it is, relationship, career, whatever it is. But what you need to understand is what you're identifying on that checklist may very well be something that's unhealed within you from a past experience or an earlier part of your life, or that you even brought in from a past life. So it might not be 100% them. Not to say that they're without fault or blame or whatever, but that there is a part of what's going on. The ownership does partially go, it needs to be placed on you, at least partially, even if it's just in the fact that you allowed something to happen and you allowed yourself to be engaged with that energy. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. I know, because a lot of times we don't know the energies that we're getting involved with when we get in, and then all of a sudden it spirals out of control and we realize that we've been involved with somebody really crazy or really unhealthy or really whatever, fill in the blank, right? But then we need to get the hell out of Dodge, right? And then a lot of times we don't. We stay too long in something. That's going to resonate with some of you. For others of you in a very long-term relationship, you may be in this space where you're afraid of the fact that you're feeling really restless and very discontent. And this really could have everything to do with the fact that you and your partner are just so busy worrying about every other aspect of life, busying yourself with all the other nonsense that's going on in the world, that you're not giving the relationship what it is that it needs. And there's something that's not being paid attention to as far as what you need, they need, you both need. And this is an easy fix, those guys. This is easy for you to just infuse some romance and connection back into this before it becomes a relationship that you stay in just to be in a relationship and not for anything else. But you could fix that. But if you're not feeling motivated to do that, but yet you're afraid to leave, that's something that you need to really look at. But this is your fear. This is a fear, the disillusionment, the restlessness, identifying these things. But this is very much the energy, too, of somebody who's afraid to fully commit into something, like a fear of commitment, for fear that you're going to get hurt, kind of thing. The outcome energy is the Nine of Cups, which is beautiful. This is a wish fulfillment card. So I do see that there's going to be beautiful communication going on here, Jupiter and Pisces, and everything's going to work out just fine. I just see it happening, working out just fine here. Beautiful wish fulfillment energy. So I feel like whatever this pain is, it gets worked on. And I have to tell you, I'm not vibing a third party. I'm not. That third sword could simply be money. It could just be lack of communication. It could just be lack of connection. But then we have in the near future, we have the star energy, which is very nice. You have a lot of Aquarius in this reading. So this is an Aquarius energy, insight plus emotion. It's beautiful. It's ruled by Uranus, about the future. Doing things differently, right? Because what do they say? If you keep doing what you did, you're going to get what you got, right? And this is you recognizing that you're ready to do things differently, Cancer. You are ready. Even if you're staying in the same relationship, it's going to be handled different. It's going to look different. Your relationship is going to look different than it ever did before by this time next year, for those of you in long-term relationships, because you're leveling up. Some of you who are going to be meeting somebody new, I see just this beautiful releasing of fear, and this ending up being a beautiful relationship, releasing of fear of you not feeling like you're able to have success, because they do. The Nine of Cups energy is a wish fulfillment. So, whatever it is, if it's that relationship, it's a career, if you're wishing for a career, whatever it is, but the message coming in via the internet, text message, phone call, something happening, you want to really analyze it closely. Okay, that's due diligence. It's the right thing to do. But it being very benefic for you, and there being a lot of transformation in this area of your life that you're feeling this level of stagnation in. So I do like this for you, my friends. Really good. Yep. All right, Cancer, that's what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.